you want to look at my notes before. I don't know if they make any sense.
Who should care? Everyone. Puppies, yes. Adults, yes. Seniors, yes. Natural sources, chondroitin, collagen, and inflammatories, omega-3, CBD. Okay, we got everything.
Okay.
We could put weight. Oh, remember that. Weight management.
Weight management. And then also, I was listening to Karen Becker talk to a canine physical therapist about just movement.
Yeah.
And
warming up. Mm-hmm. We should wait and talk about that on.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I got a backing.
All right. Welcome back to the All Natural Pet Supply podcast, where we talk about all things pet and we try to keep it as natural as we can. I mean, our conversation doesn't always come off as natural because we're nervous, but, we believe in feeding real food with real ingredients that haven't been overly processed. And so we want to share different ways that we can do that with our dogs and cats. We're not veterinarians. We're not giving any medical advice. We are just, we're just trying to talk about stuff with, just be real people, talking about real stuff. And if you have any questions, talk to your vet, talk to your veterinary nutritionist, and find out what's going to be the best plan for your household. Today's episode, we are talking about hip and joints. And before I forget, this episode is sponsored by Pets Global, which is Signature and Fussy Cat. Signature and Fussy Cat, they make dry food and wet food for dogs and cats. And their specialty is limited ingredient. So if you have a pet with allergies, well, the dog side is limited ingredient. If you have a pet with allergies, they're single source proteins. So if you're staying within the kibble or canned food realm, I would really recommend checking them out. They're all chicken free, they're all potato free, and it can kind of help you narrow down allergies if it's a food allergy within that realm. And Fussy Cat is just like it sounds. It's great for fussy cats. So, hip and joints.
I feel like this is a really good episode for me today because I just went skiing and I skied.
You're feeling hip and joints?
Feeling, yes, I need all these supplements today. Yes, it was very good. The snow treated me well.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be worse. You could be feeling hips and joints worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was a softer snow. If it was a hard pack, I really would be.
Yeah.
So I might be squirmy.
Yeah. Last time I went skiing was probably 2 years ago, and it had been probably 10 years since I had gone before, and it was not soft, and so I was,
This was soft, but it was a little Mowgli, not like big Volkswagen style moguls, but enough that I made a lot of turns and feeling it in the knees, feeling it in the ligaments.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hip and joint.
Yeah. Who should be concerned with hips and joints in their animals?
Absolutely everyone, because everyone has a dog or cat with a hip and a joint.
Yeah. I think that we fall into this mindset of like we don't need it until they're old. And like that's really common that people think like, oh, my dog's not getting older, so they don't really, they're not limping, they don't need any joint support. But in reality, like at all stages of your pet's life, they do need something. And when you're talking about the joints, there's two different pieces that you're dealing with. One is the cushion of the joint, and then two is inflammation surrounding the joint. And like for a puppy, when they're growing, just the growth of the bones and the tissues and everything else, ligaments, it's going to cause inflammation. And that inflammation over long term, that's going to affect the tissue.
Totally. Yeah. So do you feel like there's a specific supplement that you would rather see a puppy over a senior? What's your thought on that?
Oh.
I have thoughts, but
So like what state, like not what product, but what stage I would.
or maybe product. I guess
Yeah.
you could open it that way.
Yeah.
Would you? What's your opinion on? Would you a specific product that you would lean towards if Sims was back to her little 4-month-old, just picked up off the. I was gonna say off the street. That's my dog.
Yeah. Mine is off of Craigslist. Yeah. So pretty close. Yeah. Ooh.
Well, because that's
yeah.
an interesting too. The concept of a puppy, or whether it's a coming from a breeder that's reputable and like feeding really good food versus a young dog who has unknown origins that didn't have a good. I mean, that's another like I totally recommend shelter dogs right off the bat to get on supplements.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And it's like, I mean, like hip dysplasia and elbow dysplasia are really, really, really common.
Got one.
So yeah. It's yeah. I mean, when they're young, I think it's giving those supports. It's gonna help to like just build on what's already there. As opposed to like when they get older, you're just trying to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Starting out with a strong base of nutrition, health, joint.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what for puppies, I mean, especially like when they're going through all of their teething and everything else, it's a great opportunity to like, even if you don't like, I would still go on like an actual like joint support supplement, like that's just given daily. But for puppies, for extra stuff like your tracheas and your necks and things like that.
Duck feet, chicken
Mm-hmm.
feet, high in chondroitin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lean towards the chews too because they're already chewing. They're already wanting to gnaw on something. So with puppies, I love giving them the tracheas and it's size appropriate. So we have like the turkey neck for the bigger puppies, the chicken neck for the little ones.
Yeah. So the main things that you're looking for, what are the main things that you're looking for in a joint support chew?
In terms of the natural chondroitin. Because it's basically something that already has a high level of ligament or
Cartilage
that's already there.
Yeah. So the main things that you're going to see in every joint support product, every good joint support product, is glucosamine and chondroitin. And glucosamine and chondroitin, like they're typically sourced from like bovine tissue, or like shellfish have it in them as well. But yeah, it's if you're getting it in like a chew form, they're just pulling it out of one of those other natural animal sources, and so they're but yeah, your best sources of the glucosamine and chondroitin are cartilage.
Super easy.
Yeah, so any cartilage chew out there, it's weird to think trachea is cartilage. That's why that was make them so firm. And then your duck necks, your chicken necks, turkey necks, all those guys, it's like the spine it's just cartilage and connecting all those little bones together.
Beautiful thing that wild dogs, wild cats, mom drags, lets the puppies work over the wool pups, and that's where they're getting it. So yeah, I lean towards the natural for the puppies.
Yeah.
And then move. And I think this would be like maybe breed specific. If you have a breed that's already known, like the German Shepherd, we know they're prone to hip dysplasia. Why not up the ante and start them on a supplement as well, but still giving them a healthy chew?
Yeah, and it's like the glucosamine and the chondroitin are going to help with that cushion piece. And then like you do want to look for something, whether it's in your joint support you already have, or an outside supplement for inflammation. Because we want to like maintain a healthy level of inflammation, that they're not just carrying that around. And like I said earlier with the puppies, they're growing pains, everything else aches. So like a CBD is a really good one for that. which can also be used just in regular everyday life when you go out for a long hike. We all we all kind of have a little bit of that weekend warrior. So we go out, push too far, and need something to help control that inflammation. And
CBD tonight.
Yeah, and then as they get older, and you start to end up getting like some of that arthritis kind of stuff going on in there, that CBD will help with the pain and inflammation of it as well. And also, like, CBD is not your only option. Like, you can do like turmeric, other like herbal anti-inflammatories, your omega-3s.
Yeah, I brought a whole bunch of samples from the shop. Like, I have Austin Cat has a great hip and joint formula, both in oil and cookie. So it's got added natural support for what we're talking about. Oil, if it's just easier to do it that way. Pet Relief has their own formula. So you're kind of, it's nice because it's hitting the trifecta of added supplement, hitting the inflammation, and taking away some pain.
Yeah.
Is the hope.
Yeah, and I like the CBDs. Like, if it's a CBD product, it's going to be mostly CBD with some joint support. If it's a joint support product, some of them do have CBD in them, but for the most part, it's a joint support product with splash CBD. So usually you kind of have to work at it with a combo of both.
Or, you could also go a more non-CBD if you're not comfortable with that with a puppy or older dog, and then just do like, we have quite a few, 2 or 3 styles of like a turmeric base, which is great. So their powder, one's from Solutions, Connectin.
Green Juju.
Green Juju has a great one. It's in a little paste form in our freezer section. I have one from Kangaroo. So we've got plenty of options to make it just easy to get the supplement into your baby. Sometimes it's hard to get a capsule. Sometimes if you're feeding dry, it's hard to put a powder. We have options.
Yeah. I personally we do rotate through like a bunch of different chews and stuff, but I have, I have the Connectin treats right now. What I do is, while I'm busy like preparing my dog's breakfast, I just take the treats and I just flick them across the house. So she chases them down and she's busy sniffing those while I'm making her food. So then she's not just sitting there staring at me, drooling.
Right. I rotate through. So Jones has elbow dysplasia. He got diagnosed, I think 3 years ago now. Super frightening because I thought he just came up lame, like he had just hit something. I don't know, dogs were playing. And it progressively got worse. So I quarantined him. He didn't get to go walk. He was super bummed. Never healed up. Took him to the vet, found out he's got elbow dysplasia. And so with him, he is on a monthly shot, which is a miracle in the sense of what it does. But I support him and I rotate through everything.
Yeah. Do you know what the shot is? Is it Adequin?
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
Yes. It's a synthetic joint. Synthetic, is it the chondroitin, isn't it?
No, it's actually made from bovine cartilage.
It is cartilage. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew it once.
Yeah, I have it scribbled a little bit in my notes. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna bring it up, but since you brought it up, I was like, that's because I am not very familiar with it. I just had seen that's what they were making it out of. But yeah, I have no personal experience with it, so I just didn't. Yeah.
I put it on him. I went through the whole thing. He did great, and then I kind of eased off, thinking, well, let's see if we can do this totally naturally. So while I support and you do have massive amount of benefits with, I think there's a time and place to.
Yeah.
And it's a monthly shot, and it does make a difference. But that said, in terms of his meals every day, he is on support.
Yeah.
And then if we go out hiking, I usually try to keep him under a 6-mile hike. But if he's playing hard and he's running hard, we've got CBD at the house as, basically I call it his little nightly ibuprofen. Like,
Yeah.
we just need a little anti-inflammatory, and we might do that for a couple of days just because I feel it. He's got to feel it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one of the things that I came across while I was kind of digging into joint support stuff, I was listening to a podcast with Dr. Karen Becker, and I don't know, I forget who she had on there, but she was a canine physical therapist. And one of the things that they were talking about was for physical health, but also for mental health, just movement. Like a body in motion will stay in motion.
Yeah.
And that there was a study done on rats, and they had rats that, like, some of them had a wheel in their cage and some of them had like some other like puzzles or something. But it was like the rats that were running on the wheel and had the physical exercise had more neurons and stuff going on in their brain. Like they were creating new neural pathways through that exercise, which in turn made them live longer. But it's just like our joints, in order for them to function correctly, there's all these muscles and tendons that are stabilizing them.
Yeah.
And if we don't use them,
you lose them.
Yeah.
It's legit.
Yeah.
The weekend warrior. I mean, we feel it. The dogs are the same.
Yeah.
Cats too, honestly. We forget the poor kitties in conversation sometimes, but
yeah, well, and
same
especially
applies.
the cats too. Like, I mean, they tend to just like want to do terrible things for their joints. Jump from places they shouldn't, and jump to places they shouldn't, and
crazy body movements of flipping and
so like if they're doing that every day and encouraged to do that every day, that's great. But if it's few and far between, then you're kind of setting yourself up for an injury. So trying to have small bits of exercise every day as much as you can. It's going to help. And weird, like doing weird exercises too. One of the things that they were talking about on the podcast was she said one of the little things for senior dogs who haven't had much exercise is just before you feed them their food, ask them to back up 10 steps. And just odd ones that are going to move in a way that is not just like the normal, like I'm walking here to there, that kind of stuff. And integrating different little, like if you are walking regularly, take different opportunities to sit and stand, do push-ups, doggy push-ups kind of stuff.
Downward dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, that makes total sense. I mean, it works on training. It's you're connecting with your dog too by working on new. Basically, you can teach an old dog, a new trick.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So that's an old myth. Let's move on from that and actually keep everybody, the brain, the body moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and teaching your old dog a new trick is going to help them live longer.
Totally. We all have to keep our mental pathways. Mm-hmm. Well, and I guess same note, my head went to warm, it's just like us. We need to warm that dog up before we just go right into playing ball or frisbee. Mm-hmm. Have them do a few little laps, a little just walk before you go. Get them, so they're moving. Mm-hmm. Prevent their own ACL injuries, prevent. It's just like the week again goes back to the week. I'm feeling the weekend warrior. That's why I guess my brain's going there. And I'm not a total weekend warrior, but I haven't skied daily. Yeah. So
I'm totally guilty of I get really, really busy 3 stores. It's a little busy.
It's a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, so many times I'm like, I go out and I'm like, I'm going to go feed the pigs in the morning, and the dog comes out and she usually runs around for a little while. But like there have been many days, especially lately, that I'm like, oh, I haven't like given her a lot of exercise today. Let me go grab that Frisbee.
Yeah.
And, I know it's a mistake. Like every time, the first time I throw it and she runs and she jumps like 4 feet in the air,
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, shouldn't have done that.
Oops. Because and that's the thing, like, again, what they can get away with when they're, say, 5 and under
Yeah.
is a lot different from, say, 5, 6 and older.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting into my kids are 5 and 7 now. Sims is how old?
Well, she's 8 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 8. Yeah. So, she just sends it after that Frisbee. And so I have to either like throw it low enough to the ground where she's not going to jump up, but also even in that, I can just see like when she takes off running after the Frisbee, like the grass flies up behind her.
Yeah.
So like that's like fast twitch, and like that's a recipe for trying to pull something.
Pippet does it where if it's too low and she's going to grab at it, like I feel like that's equal injury.
Oh
like
yeah,
she's
stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just this hard. Like,
Yeah.
I feel the pain.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we're not saying like don't take away that joy
No,
or anything,
there's
but just
joy.
do some warm-ups before
Warm 'em
that
up.
and pay attention to what surface that you are doing those activities on as well. Like
Huge.
yeah, we have a gravel driveway, and I always try to like, the Frisbee never is going to land on the gravel because I don't want her jumping and landing on that.
No.
Just not only for impact, but yeah, just like that's a hard landing. Don't do those kind of things on concrete or anything else like that.
No. And get them on a joint support.
Joint support, yeah. Yeah. And I guess we didn't talk about, but another really big piece of that puzzle is maintaining a healthy weight.
Healthy weight. It's hard on the joints. That was so when I took Jones to a surgeon up in Hood River, he was like, well, he is, I'm going to space his name right now, but he was highly recommended. And the main takeaway was like, he's like, you need to like get the weight off to the point where people judge you for not feeding your dog, like that level of athletic thinness. And I cannot get Jones to look like that. He looks a very healthy way, and you can see his ribs, but he's not. No one's going to judge me.
No. Yeah.
But he self-regulates. He's not.
Yeah, he's picky.
Yeah. And he not only food, but he self-regulates his exercise. Mm-hmm. He plays when he plays, and he's the conversation dog that like if we're out walking, he's between the two of us, just walking with ladies.
Yeah.
He's participating in the conversation. He's letting the other kids go play.
Letting the kids go play.
So,
yeah, he knows he knows his limits.
He knows his limits. So he is very easy. Now Pippet does not. She will go, but she is already on a joint health because she benefits from Jones's.
Yeah.
But she was also a street dog from Mexico. So right off the bat, like I don't know what her background is. I'm sure she was not nutritionally sound, and
yeah.
Luckily, their mom works at a pet supply
and obsesses over this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say I'm pretty lucky with mine as well. She does launch after the Frisbee, but she'll like, she knows like how many throws she wants to go after, and then she'll go take a break. And that I will say that's one of the cues that I actually really like. I'm like, it was such an odd one to teach. But it's one of my favorites, is that I taught her like, okay, we're engaging in this exercise or we're training or whatever else. And the cue is take a break. And so I would say, okay, let's take a break. And I would walk towards her water bowl, and then I would just totally ignore her. So it led her in the direction to like, go
hydrate,
drink the water. And if it was a really fun exercise that we were doing together, she will kind of try to follow me around a little bit. But like as she's gotten older, she's kind of learned it more and more. Okay, like when I hear those words, like she's done, like she's ignoring me now. Like I do just need to like lay down and just like
That's a great phrase. Take a break.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause it's like, I think like if we don't have a point for our dogs to like disconnect with us, like they're so conditioned and we want them to be conditioned to pay attention to us. And so if we never say like, okay, you can ignore me now.
Right.
They're like, what do we do next? What's next?
Now, right.
When do I get the next treat?
When I stare at you.
Yeah.
Little doggy eyes. We walk with a few. One is he's it's a frightening mix. He's a border collie McNab mix.
Oh.
He's very obsessed over his ball, and that was probably a good. I don't think his owner ever actually did the like we're done.
Yeah.
It's always the ball. So everybody knows that dog. So those owners, you guys should think about that phrase, whether it's all done, take a break.
Yeah.
Just to let them chill.
Yeah. And also consider that fetch is generally a pretty good thing, but it can turn into an OCD behavior.
Obsessive.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to to teach your dog to disengage, like, you know, fetch is fun, fetch is easy, but also fetch is not life.
I feel like that should be a t-shirt.
Yeah, fetch
is not life.
There's so much more to being a dog.
And on
just
the back
fetch.
is like, life is cookies.
Life is cookies.
Just tell it, green juju. Or whatever company wants to do.
Yeah. But yeah.
So that's middle-aged dogs. So again, so seniors, obviously. So seniors considered basically 7 years and older.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, technically, if we're talking our dogs, we are talking seniors.
We
now,
are talking seniors, but
mm-hmm.
they were lucky to have us, and through their quote adult lives, which is very short. Mm-hmm. Dogs spend most of their time as seniors. Mm-hmm. To definitely consider 1, if not 2, forms of joint support.
Mm-hmm.
Get that going. I think it's kind of safe to mention like most senior kibble do not have the level. Sure. It's kind of a token. If it has anything, it's not, I wouldn't consider it a proper dose.
No,
it might be a small layering effect.
Yeah. The only kibble that I have seen that has proper joint support is the square pet.
And it's not even a senior. It's called active joints.
Yeah.
But would be I actually sell to, or I encourage senior kibble owners to consider that for their certain dogs.
Yeah,
dog breeds that are prone to.
Yeah, we had one of the sheriff's dogs on it for a long time because they were looking for something because they travel a lot, and so they were worried about like traveling for training and stuff like that. He didn't want to be like lugging on like multiple bags of different things and stuff. And so like I get for that lifestyle, they worked really well for them. And it was just high impact training. Yeah. So like he needed something. The square pet one is actually made mostly of turkey necks. So it's a natural source of that glucosamine. But senior foods generally, honestly, like, sometimes they'll say like there's some glucosamine in here. But generally what they're doing with that senior food is they're making it lower calorie because they're expecting your dog to slow down and gain weight. So that's kind of what they're doing with that. So we honestly don't really encourage going onto a senior food very often. Nulo's is pretty good.
Nulo's is good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care for any of the others.
Yeah.
my other beef is that you end up on probably a chicken formula. And so this senior dog gets stuck with one
protein.
Kibble, one protein.
Yeah.
And supposedly lower calorie, but it's still a higher carb. It's a low protein.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much generally exactly the opposite of what I would want any dog to be on. I want to see multiple proteins. I want to see rotation. Yeah. I want to see high protein. I probably said this in another podcast, but I mean, we are seeing the research for humans that we need to up our protein way higher than what FDA recommends for us to keep the muscle on us.
Yeah.
So I want to see the seniors keep their muscle so they are living and living and living and living till they're not this steady decline of like becoming the couch potato and overweight and obviously in discomfort and can't do anything. And
Yeah, and as you age, your digestion doesn't work as well, and so the argument also is for more to have more digestible proteins, which means less processed,
Less
which
processed.
would be like a gently cooked, a raw food, or I mean, I'd even say a canned food would be better than a kibble.
at least it's got a lot of moisture.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Gently, I think really, I'm kind of really coming around to like gently cook for the senior dogs because of it's easy to digest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very palatable.
Mm-hmm.
They like it.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you after podcast. I have another. We don't sell this particular product, but I'll just say it.
Yeah.
So, Judy Morgan was interviewing Raised Right, and I do like Raised Right. Mm-hmm. So they do a gently cooked.
Yeah.
And did you hear that one?
Mm-mm,
Okay, so she brought up a good point where like senior dogs, and this goes into like I think Chinese energetics and stuff, but they already run wet. So too wet of a food actually is not great for them. And I don't pretend to understand the Chinese. This is kind of a dabble. I'm reading a little bit about it, but some dogs don't do well on that wet of a diet.
Okay.
So Raised Right is a drier.
Gently cooked.
Yes.
Okay.
Not as moist. So some senior dogs actually do better on a less moist.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my debate, I was like, well, we don't actually sell it, but
We could order it
in.
If anybody
needs
hears
that
this, wants that, needs it, let us know. We can, easily
and maybe
order
we'll
it.
consider it someday in the future if we have space and or whatever
Yeah. And I'm like, I really like their stuff too. I'm not opposed to it. I think the main thing is freezers. We never have enough space in our freezers.
There's really, truly amazing products out there that we just don't have the warehouse of store yet.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm really looking forward to like, we really like, we love raw food. Raw food is never going anywhere. Like we're always going to keep that in the stores. But we have not done a lot in gently cooked. And so I'm excited to kind of see that category grow. And so I'm hoping that we'll be able to do a few more of these specialty ones.
Yeah.
In the near future.
Yeah. I like it. I was going to say like it's really easy, I think, to do supplements.
Yeah.
In a wetter, raw, gently cooked, canned, than a supplement on a powder on a dry.
Yeah.
It's really like I loved your idea with or what you do with your Earth Animal Internal and make your little green smoothie. So you can put it in a goat milk.
Yeah. Or a bone broth.
Or a bone broth.
Which is going to also have that glucosamine in it.
Totally. So another natural form. So you can, you're making a little hip and joint
just
drink.
Yeah, and then like the turkey necks, the chicken necks, that kind of stuff. Like I love those like just as like a couple times a week kind of treat. Like the raw ones too. Like if you're not doing a raw food diet, those are a great one even to add on top of your kibble.
Fresh.
Just to get some fresh in the bowl, and then also there's dental
Dental
benefits.
health.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win-win.
Yeah, just all around.
Win.
Yeah.
With one or two treats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then there's the other, I don't want to call it a cookie. Treat style, though, is like we do sell freeze-dried greenlet mussels, which is a really great natural, I think, super high bioavailability for the animal. It could be a hit or miss on Like Jones.
Palatability.
Yeah, Jones is not a fan.
Yeah.
But I can sneak the powder in his food. He doesn't turn his nose up for that. Pippet loves the green lip mussel.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for my dog, they ended up being a little bit rich for her. Like she just couldn't like handle them. But like I know a lot of people, like Sophia swears by green lip mussel. Yeah. So I think they're a great thing to try out. We may actually potentially be getting them in bulk.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah, Northwest Naturals has them available in bulk. So that'd be nice to be able to just like try a couple kind of thing. So as soon as we figure out where there's room in the bulk bin, we'll be trying to get those in.
Hopefully you just have 2 dogs and one will eat it, one won't.
Yeah.
Or they both will. But the green lip, we do have it in powdered form. So that's how it just gets supplemented in. I would be scared to put it in goat or bone broth for my dogs just because if Jones, that's a lot of milk for Pippet to, she'll take it on, power through a bit.
Yeah.
But I can hide it in his food pretty easy.
Yeah. And the Glycoflex actually has green lip mussels in it.
Yes.
And so I rotate. I've done Connectin, I've done Glycoflex, and I've done the Coha one as well, which we don't have today. But also very great. And the thing I like about the Connectin, which is the one I'm currently on, is they have a lot of herbal anti-inflammatories, and then also like there's like nettles and things like that that's why I'm on it right now for her.
Seasonal allergies,
it's the spring, and so like the nettles have really like helped her kind of fight off the pollen. I mean, we haven't gotten a ton of pollen yet, but it's coming.
The pollinating. What's really nice about both Glycoflex and Connectin is that if you want to be that research nerd, they on their websites link their actual scientific studies, which are pretty interesting.
Yeah.
If you want to go there, but they're very transparent about that. This is a product that they've tested. I mean, it should be important for everybody, but it's legit science research.
Yeah. And it's hard to like, it does tend to be harder to find research on a lot of the natural products because it takes funding to do that research. And so, it generally takes a company selling it to want to invest the money to find that it works. And like, there's nobody out there that's like, I'm going to be the best marketer for a trachea. I'm going to be the best marketer for a turkey neck. And I'm going to do all the research into the turkey neck and say, this is how it performs in a specific study, but then you wouldn't necessarily be able to say that exact same study is applicable to a chicken neck or a duck neck. I mean, if you use common sense, they are all natural sources of glucosamine. And I mean, we know we're confident in that because like they're using that glucosamine out of the beef cartilage. Like it's like we're confident in it, but like it's not, you're not going to find the research out there because it's not mainstream.
No. But I mean, even the mainstream research has been some shoddy science that's been coming out, which is that's a whole podcast.
Yep.
Shady science.
Yeah. Conspiracies of pet food. I think we're probably going to have to do one on maybe DCM
or common. Yeah. Oh yeah, we should.
Mm-hmm. Prescriptions.
Yes.
Yes. So look forward to those in the near future. We'll be excited.
Dude, that could be a 2-parter.
Oh yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah. But just general, that would be actually an interesting. I'd listen to that too. The myths and garlic.
Yeah. Oh, if you have any questions out there that you'd like us to go over, I have seen a few people asking a few things on Instagram. But yeah, send us a message if you have any ideas. We have a whole list of ideas of our own, but it definitely, at some point, we will be wanting more ideas, and so we'd love to maybe do Q&A.
That'd be fun.
That kind
I like
of
Q&A.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all I have on hip and joint support.
Start them anytime. It's never too late. Keep their weight down.
Yep.
Fresh food.
Yep.
Fresh chews that are good for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Dental, mental, and physical.
Physical. Yeah.
Anti-inflammatories, omega-3s.
Oh, another one that we left out, which I don't know if we currently have anything for it or that contains it, but eggshell membrane is really good. It's a natural. We did. I know, but we can't get it anymore.
We are searching
Yeah.
for a replacement product for a particular,
Yeah.
yes, eggshell membrane. But you actually could do your own.
Yeah. So yeah, eggshell
you-
membrane is weird, but like when you crack an egg, that thin little layer, like paper thin layer, is a great natural source of glucosamine, chondroitin, and then also collagen.
Well, so when you're making your deviled eggs and your egg salad and you're got a kid that's bored or needs something to do, or you want to sit there and when you're peeling your hard-boiled eggs,
Yeah.
you take that weird membrane and you just hand it right off to your dogs. That's expensive stuff right there.
Yeah.
And it's a pain in the ass, but there you go. Or if you have an organic farm raised, you can actually like dry out that eggshell with the membrane, grind it up. I don't know the ratio off the top of my head, but that's something that gets added actually to a lot of food for, if it's like a low phos food, often they will use that as the joint support in it rather than a high phosphorus. And this is like going into like kidney issues and urinary, well, mostly kidney, but just a different way to get calcium support.
Yeah, because your traditional like would be bone based, and so the eggshell based is lower in phosphorus for the kidney stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a
Okay.
random
So,
trivia.
yes.
Yeah.
Eggshell membrane. Cool. Good stuff. But yeah, I think that's all we've got for hip and joint.
Certainly.
So yeah, I appreciate you all who are tuning in and watching our podcast. If you can hit the like and the subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it. We want to keep doing it, and so that kind of stuff can really help us potentially at some point raise some funds to help pay for the production of doing it all. And
Thank you.
thank you.